Hello and welcome to Sky247.net presents Not Just Cricket. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us, Deep, and welcome back, Wasim. It's going to be a very interesting second game. Obviously, our first game is still continuing, but while that's continuing, let's talk about our next game. Defending champions have no margin for error in terms of results today as they take on Orange Hot Hyderabad in this crucial South Indian derby in Pune. Of course, the news is, Dhoni is back. Captain Cool is back to be, taking on the next team. So that's very exciting. Deep, you were saying that while you're at you were seeing all these posters and people getting happy about this. So tell us what it's like and how do you feel?
It feels like a semblance of what we've seen over the last 14 years. It's like, normalcy is back again when it comes to Chennai. Listen, anywhere you go, any venue that you go to, it's always yellow. If Chennai is playing, it's always yellow. So here at Pune as well, it's all yellow. But as you mentioned, you see a lot of these placards saying "Welcome back, Captain Cool" and Captain MS and all that. It's just good to see him back again, and hopefully this will also bring back performances as well that we've seen Chennai perform in the last 13 odd years.
Absolutely, absolutely. Vaseem, look, it's great to have Dhoni back as a captain. Jesse Jante, he has a great. He's amazing. The problem is, does it reflect good in the long run when you change captaincy midway through the campaign?
Yes, I think so. I think Jadeja was definitely not enjoying it. कभी उन्होंने captainship की नहीं है करिश्मा, so I can understand where is he coming from. उनका अपना performance, has come down. He hasn't batted well, he hasn't bowled well, and obviously when you have not led, before, then it becomes difficult. Which bowler to bring on, and do what situation because you have not countered it before. So it does make sense to me. I just wish MS Dhoni would have continued. Probably they would have got better results. I personally feel that even with whatever team that they have, if MS was captain, he would have definitely done some wonders. But never, it's never say never. MS Dhoni at least will have his magic on this squad and see what happens. I mean, they've got nothing to lose. First of all, giving that captainship to Ravindra Jadeja was little surprising to me. But I'm not surprised. He handed it back to MS. Brings out all the question whether MS is going to play again or if MS is not playing, then what happens next year? Are they going to get somebody in the auction or things like that? So, a lot of question marks. But at least MS is back, so which is a good thing for CSK.
Absolutely is great for Chennai. Do Chennai need to play as if every game is a knockout? Deep.
Yes, they do. Obviously, the kind of experience that is there in that dugout. That's the thing about Chennai, right? They've always invested in experience over the last 14, even 15 years. So, yeah, this year hasn't been there, but there is enough experience to turn things around. And listen, you can't be worried about the next 4, 5 games or 6 games for Chennai. You just got to worry about one game at a time, and that's what they'll be doing. They'll be just thinking about this game against Hyderabad and take one game at a time and see where they end up. Because obviously, one of the things which I read out of this whole captaincy thing is MS going to be around for next season as well, and that's my reading of this current situation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Gujarat snapped Hyderabad's 5-match win streak, but they will still need to be full of confidence going into this one, right?
Bilkul. I feel SRH is one of the most improved teams, in my opinion. Even after, क्योंकि इससे पहले जो 5 मैचेस खेले थे करिश्मा, they won the toss, they fielded, they restricted the team to 170 के आसपास, and they chased it down comfortably. And in the last game against Gujarat, they batted first, forced a very good score. Something which they didn't do before. So that was a lot of positive. For that partnership of Rashid and Tewatia, SRS should have won that game. They were a little unfortunate. A lot of positives coming out. Umran Malik being one of them. Abhishek Sharma. You tell them. The bowling attack is probably one of the best, at least the fast bowling attack, and their batting is also coming good. So I feel this team is red hot. Is in a red hot form. Just that they had a minor blip against Gujarat. So whatever they do, we have seen that when they bowl first, obviously it suits them. But even if they bat first, and on top of that, Kane Williamson hasn't stuck form, so which shows that this team can also improve. So I feel they are one of the favorites to go into the playoffs, other than Lucknow and I would say Gujarat Titans.
Okay. Lucknow are looking pretty good right now. 76 needed of 42, 5 wickets in hand for Delhi. That is our update as well for our viewers who are watching us and watching the game. Let's talk about the numbers tracker next. Let's take a look. First one we're going to talk about is the Markram impact. What a great value for money, but he's proving to be. Has come in different situations at different positions and has performed ever so consistently. Deep, this question is for you. Let's talk about this, gentleman.
Aiden Markram, right? Listen, if you look at Aiden Markram's white ball cricket last 8 months or a year, he's been fabulous. He's been fabulous in one-day cricket and T20. This season is just an extension of what he's been doing for South Africa. Even though his numbers in Test match cricket has gone down, where he opens in that format, but batting in the middle order for South Africa and now for Hyderabad, I think he's found kind of his calling in white ball cricket, and that's what we see. Because obviously it's improved so much against spin. That is one. Second of all, also he's very orthodox in his approach. So even though the pitches are kind of slowing down and tiring, because he's so orthodox, he can still be consistent. So that's the biggest advantage of playing orthodox cricket, even in T20, is your consistency levels are going to be higher because you're still playing percentage cricket, right? You're still scoring at 135, 140, but playing orthodox cricketing shots, which more often than not are high percentage shots. So I think that's what is benefiting Markram and obviously Hyderabad.
Yeah, I mean, Wasim as well. What would you like to add to this? And a very key player, like we've just said, and much needed, and specifically for spin.
Yeah, I mean he's taken that number 4 position. He's made his own. The top 5 Karishma has been brilliant. The couple of openers. Tripathi has been in such a good form. Markram and Pooran. They are doing the majority of the scoring, which is a very good thing. And that is what you want in a T20. Your top 4, top 5 need to play bulk of the overs, and that is the template they're going with. And when your overseas players, Markram, Pooran, if they come good, nothing likes it. I know, and then Tripathi and Abhishek Sharma are doing their job, which is so good to see. So, like I said, they are very improved team with Washington Sundar coming back into the side, adding value in both part of the game, spin department as well as, lower middle order, wherever they can fit him. He's one of those guys who can come in the top 4 also if, you lose 2 wickets early. And then he can, be handy at number 8 also. So this team, with whatever resources they have got, they've utilized it to the maximum, and which is so good to see.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Glad player here. We're going to be talking about Deep. Oh, sorry, you want to make a point?
Sorry, no, I just wanted to just add to what Wasim mentioned and what we were talking about Hyderabad. This is like very similar to how, let's say, New Zealand plays its cricket, or Kane Williamson, the captain at every team that Kane Williamson has led. So if you look at the New Zealand and the Hyderabad side, they're very similar in their approach. You won't see massive names as in superstars, but it's like a sum total of all the individuals. They're coming together, playing as a unit. Same with Hyderabad. You really don't see so-called T20 superstars and huge, massive names like some of the other teams have. But they've come together. They've tried to maximize their potential, the resources that they have, and look what they've achieved in the last 6 games.
Absolutely. Another player who's also improved by leaps and bounds is Umran, correcting his lengths and now focusing on his strengths. In the initial phase, he was too short at times, but now targeting the stumps, and that is yielding in results. Wasim.
I mean,
he's sorry. Sorry,
yeah.
Go on, Wasim.
No, I mean, he's one of those, bright, I would say, stars of this year's IPL. At the start, you could see that he was struggling. He had pace, but his lengths were inaccurate. And, the lines that he was bowling, he was giving a lot of width. but with the game time, जितना उन्होंने matches खेले, and the good thing is SRH kept faith in him and they kept him playing, and look what he's got. 15 wickets in 8 games, and that economy rate is improving. He's hitting the stumps. Last time he took 5 wickets, he got four clean bowled, which shows that he's hitting the stump, he's bowling straight. And when you've got that kind of pace, Karishma, it's not easy. Somebody coming in at 150 ball after ball, and he's hitting the right lengths. There's not much you can do as a batsman. And he's got that sharp bouncer. He's got that very lethal Yorker as well, where he got a couple of wickets with that. So it does show that he's got variation. He's got different balls to go to, and I think Kane Williamson is using him wonderfully. So it's very nice to see, and I think we have got a talent. And I probably personally feel that he's gonna don the Indian colors very soon.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, Karishma, just to add, I think what Wasim mentioned about him being used correctly, that's also a very, very important aspect. Because last game he did pick a fifer, but he did not bowl in the first six and did not bowl in the last four. So what is good to see that there is obviously improvement in Umran Malik from the first game to the eighth that we've seen. Now I would want to see him take the next step, and also Kane Williamson showing faith in him to bowl the last four as well. So that I would like to see him improve in that as well, because that's something that obviously would something that you would expect from your fast bowler, as Wasim mentioned. If he has to play for India, he will have to bowl in the first six and the last four as well. So as exciting as he is, would like to see him grow every game, which has been doing, to be fair to him.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about another player, Williamson as a batter. If Hyderabad needs to set the tempo, batting first, does Kane need to be more proactive? Wasim, this is to you, and then of course the.
Yeah, I think so. I think Karishma, मुझे लगता है कि थोड़ा सा subdued है. He's playing the role of somebody who wants to bat long, जैसे KL Rahul करते हैं, for Super Giants. Even Virat did that yesterday. Even though Virat, we can understand he was out of form, he wanted to play himself in. But I think जो Kane Williamson जो quality के player है, I think that strike rate needs to go up. And the quality of the player. 148 runs is far too less for such a quality player. And he hasn't got out, hitting the ball. He hasn't got out playing aggressive cricket. So that is something which, puts a question mark. What is he, trying to do? Because it puts a lot of pressure on Abhishek Sharma. And, they are lucky that Rahul Tripathi is playing so well. If he was not playing well and he wasn't scoring runs, then what happens? It brings your number 4 and number 5 into the game. So I think Kane Williamson just need to step up and play a little bit freely. I mean, once he plays, once he bats at 120 strike rate, I think even then it's fine. But if he's every time he's batting at below 100 strike rate, then it puts a lot of pressure on Abhishek and Rahul Tripathi.
Deep, would you want to add anything to this?
Yeah, but that's also kind of how he bats, or kind of how Hyderabad generally, that's their template. They start a little slowly and they pick it up. Now, what is happening is, I guess for Kane Williamson, is he's not converting those starts into big ones. So if you look at even in the past when he's got a better average in strike rate, he starts like that, run a ball, and then he kind of, after he's played and he's got his eye, and then he kind of shifts gears and he moves to a higher gear and all. But unfortunately, this season he hasn't moved on, and that's where I think is the issue. And as Wasim mentioned, because everyone else is contributing now, he can afford to play a little more freely. I can understand when there is not enough support, and as a captain, you want to stay out there till the end. But now that there is contribution from the others, he can play a little more freely and not take that burden on his shoulder.
Makes sense. Okay, let's quickly take a look at the fantasy tracker, because the toss is going to happen very soon. So let's take a look at the fantasy tracker. This is your team that you have selected.
Well, yes. I mean, I've got Robin Uthappa captain today. I think he's in good form, Karishma, and he's due for some runs. Rahul Tripathi, again, somebody who's on a very good form, and I think he's making his number 3 position in SRH's own. So those are my captain, vice captain. Abhishek, again, man in form. Rituraj Gaikwad I've got because I expect him to come good. He's had a very lean IPL so far, but he's a very quality player. So I expect him to come good. I've got Ambati Raidu, who got runs in the last game. Aiden Markram and Nicholas Puran has to be there. Is my wicket keeping option. Shivam Dubey had a couple of quiet games, so I expect him to come good too. Dwayne Bravo, Umran Malik, and Natarajan. Those are my three seamers. Three quality seamers who can get me wickets. So that is my fantasy 11.
Okay, that was our lovely fantasy team that you have picked. Next, we have, yep. Hyderabad have won the toss and they have opted to bowl. I'm not going to get this wrong ever in my life or make any mistakes. I don't want to get trolled. They have opted to bowl. They've opted to bowl. Deep, you can talk
Yeah. They've done well chasing down totals Hyderabad. They've obviously won the toss, I can see from here. But now that you mentioned, they have opted to bowl first because they've chased down what 5 of the last 7 games that they've played. So they've done well chasing down totals. So there's absolutely no reason why not do the same. But having said that, this venue there is there's obviously no bias as such because of the conditions here. Last 2 times it's been defended, 144 and then 153 was defended at this particular venue. So it's not a bad idea to bat first either. But this pitch, when I went there a while ago, I think should play much better than what we've seen in the last couple of games because I thought the pitch is looks like in a better state as far as batting is concerned.
Yeah, I think the Hyderabad team doesn't have any changes because, as we can see, no changes for Hyderabad, and we're just going to find out about. I mean, we know that Dhoni is the captain in the next team, but we don't. I'm not sure if there are any changes. We're just finding that out. We will confirm that in a bit.
Yeah.
But
But generally speaking, Chennai doesn't really make too many changes. To be honest, Chennai very rarely they make changes unless it's forced. But yeah, I'd be surprised if they do make any changes.
I think
Very
they'll
unfortunate.
be happy. Karishma, I think they like to bowl first anyway. We have seen that they've won 5 games in a row, bowling first, and Chennai is one of the team where your seamers, especially Umran Malik, will enjoy. If you want to bring in pace, CSK is that team. So I think
Mhm.
Umran Malik will probably enjoy bowling at that Pune wicket because it has got good carry, good seam movement and Marco Jensen. I think those two guys are going to be very critical. You've got Bhuvi; he's a seasoned performer, so you know what you're going to get with Bhuvi and Natarajan. But I think Umran Malik is going to be very exciting on that pitch, especially against CSK.
Okay, so Jadeja can finally play, free of any pressure. Would you say today, like he'll just be going for it? Deep.
I think so. I think so. I mean, now that he's given up the captaincy, I think Jadeja, the player, the bowler and the batter, hopefully CSK will get to see that. And that is what they want. I mean, whoever is captain, CSK ऐसी team है करिश्मा where everybody knows what their roles are. किसी को बताने की जरूरत नहीं है. They are seasoned players. They won championship. 8, 9 of them have played together. So you make anybody the captain. Everyone knows what their roles are. So I think if they get Jadeja, the form that he was in, if they get him back, nothing like it. Whether as a batsman and especially as a bowler also. So yeah, good for CSK.
Okay, so we have some changes for Chennai, by the way. Bravo and Dubey are out. Devon and Simranjeet are in. So Devon Conway and Simranjeet are in. So slightly surprised about that. I think it's because of our new captain right now.
No, I think could be that could be a niggle or something.
Mm.
Obviously, Devon Conway was not available for most part of the last few weeks because obviously, congratulations to him, got married and all. He went to South Africa to get married. Now he's back. So yeah, so he's available. So he comes in and Simranjeet for Dubey. Okay, that's an interesting one. I would like to believe those are niggles because I mean there is no reason both these players Bravo and Dubey they've had
Okay.
they've had a good season so
Yeah.
far and especially on this surface where it might grip a bit, you would want Bravo there, right? And obviously, I mean, irrespective. So not too sure, but as far as I see it, there must be niggles involved in both cases.
And I think because of probably, they were sending Mitchell Sackner at number three, they probably were not feeling too comfortable with that, Sackner batting at number three. So when Conway probably opens, you can send Robin Uthappa as number three, and then Raidu can come in at number four. So you've got a very solid batting lineup. But somebody as good as Shivam Dube, who had such a good tournament, I'm surprised that, they dropped him. And Bravo as well. I'm sure
So
he's not
Bravo
fit.
old is unfit, yeah.
Yeah, unless he's unfit, because he's definitely, not droppable without a doubt. But I think they've sorted their batting out pretty decently. But they are definitely going to miss Dwayne Bravo, especially in the second half.
Okay, so Deep, I need to let you go, but before you go, because I know you've got something else, please give me your predictions and
Oh,
which,
right. Listen, I honestly, it seems like Hyderabad's got the upper hand to a certain extent because of the momentum, so to say. Obviously, changing captains halfway through, even though it is MS who's been around forever,
yeah.
it still is a little can be a little tricky, especially first game could be a little tricky. So maybe from that perspective, I'd say Hyderabad has a better chance, and also the momentum and everything else. Even though they lost the last game, but they lost a game which they should have won. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I think that momentum and confidence and everything else, and I would like to. I think Hyderabad would be ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Deep. We
Right,
will
thank you, and I'll. Yep.
joining us.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Deep.
Vaseem, who do you think? What would your prediction be?
Well, I think SRH is definitely, I feel has an upper hand now. They've won the toss and they like bowling first. Unless CSK scores, big, close to 190, 200, SRH will be happy chasing whatever below that target because it's a good ground, ground to bat later on in the innings. The ball doesn't do much. It doesn't spin much. So unless CSK post, very big score in excess of 200, I feel SRH has an edge.
Okay, fair enough. That makes sense to me. Let's take a look at our poll. Surprised by Jadeja's decision to relinquish captaincy so soon, 75% said yes and 25% said no.
I would say no because I was not surprised, but you could see that he was struggling. His performance came down, and then in every decision that he takes, he got to look at MS Dhoni. You can't take any decision on your own when you're captaining such a big team, and with MS being there, you got to consult with MS. So literally, it's like MS doing the captainship. Even if he's not there. So I think I'm not surprised that because you could see that he was not enjoying it.
Mm. Okay, well, before I let you go, KL, the man and the machine continues to churn the runs, but what a costly drop by Lalit when he was just 14. When he was just 14.
I know. I mean, somebody as good as KL, अगर आप उनको ऐसे मौके दोगे, तो वो छोड़ने वाले नहीं है. And we've seen that he's a Mr. Consistent again. 77 or 51 with a very good strike rate. He started slightly slowly, and that's been his pattern. But the other guys have made it up. Quinton de Kock started really aggressively, and then Deepak Huda. I was happy that he batted at number three, and I hope they stay. Keep him at number three. Somebody who bats aggressively and give a little bit of breathing space to KL, so KL can play his game and pace his inning accordingly. So I feel that they should stick with him at number three, and then after that, once KL gets into his groove, then that he churns out runs just like any other day, 70, 80, 90, 100, whatever. He was lucky that later on Lalit Yadav did took a brilliant catch. Otherwise, you could see another probably 100 coming up. So that like we said in the preview, Karishma, KL Rahul is such an important part of that LSG batting lineup. So which again showed up that why we discussed that. Once he gets runs, you could see them reaching 170, 180, 190. So he's a very important factor in that batting lineup.
Absolutely. Before I let you go, also let's talk about Rishabh Pant. I mean, getting the 30s and the 40s, but not quite making the mark or the numbers that he would want to make as well, right?
Yeah, that's been the problem, Karishma, with Rishabh for a while. He has not mastered, IPL like he's done with Test cricket or even One Day cricket. And I would like him to do that because he's got everything. T20 is a game for him. He's got every shot. He's got all the freedom. He just need to be a little bit more selective. I think he came out, very aggressively today. He just wanted to, strike it from ball one, and he does that time and again, even in One Day and Test cricket. But that's fine. But he needs to take the team over the line. That's the only question mark I have. He doesn't take the team over the line in this format, and that's what he needs to do and learn to do over a period of time.
Well, practice makes perfect, and there's plenty of cricket today. So, hum baad mein milne wale hain at the end of this, at the end of the second game, and we'll talk about the first game and the second game at the end of the show. Thank you, Waseem. Thank you, viewers, and we'll be back on Sky247.net presents Not Just Cricket. Enjoy all the cricket. Bye.